Stop reacting, the moment you take back your power. What if the person who ruins your peace is not the person who insulted you? What if it is your own reaction? Someone says something disrespectful. You become angry. Someone ignores you. You start overthinking. Someone rejects you. You spend the entire night wondering what is wrong with you. And here is the part nobody tells you. While you are busy fighting them inside your head, they are living their life. You are the one carrying the anger. You are the one replaying the conversation. You are the one losing sleep. And without realizing it, you have handed someone else control over your mind. The Stoics called this the beginning of slavery. Not slavery of the body. Slavery of the mind. Because if anyone can change your emotional state with a few words, they have power over you. But imagine the opposite. Someone insults you, and you remain calm. Someone misunderstands you, and you do not rush to explain yourself. Someone walks away, and you do not chase them. Someone tries to provoke you, and discovers that there is nothing to control. That is not weakness. That is emotional power. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal, criticism, war, and enormous pressure. Yet Stoicism taught him to return to one question. What is actually mine to control? Not their opinion. Not their behavior. Not their words. Your judgment. Your response. Your character. And this changes the entire game. Because the goal is not to become someone who never feels anger. The goal is to become someone who can feel anger. And still choose wisely. Feel hurt. And still remain dignified. Feel fear. And still move forward. The world will keep testing you. People will disappoint you. Some will disrespect you. Some will leave without explanation. You cannot stop any of that. But you can stop giving every person permission to enter your mind. Destroy your peace. And decide who you become. And in this video, you will learn exactly how the Stoics trained themselves to do it. Because the first enemy you must defeat is not another person. It is the part of you that reacts before it thinks. The meaning trap, why their words hurt you. A stranger insults you. And you forget it 5 minutes later. But when someone you care about says the same words, you can think about them for days. Why? Because words are not what truly hurt you. The meaning you attach to them does. This is one of the most powerful ideas in Stoic philosophy. Something happens. Then your mind immediately creates a story about it. Someone does not reply to your message. That is the fact. But your mind says, they don't respect me. They are ignoring me. Maybe I am not important. Now you are no longer reacting to silence. You are reacting to a story. And the story may not even be true. The Stoics trained themselves to separate reality from imagination. They would ask, what actually happened? Not, what am I assuming happened? That question is incredibly powerful. Someone laughs while you are speaking. Fact. Your mind says they are laughing at you. Interpretation. Someone gets promoted instead of you. Fact. Your mind says you are a failure. Interpretation. Someone walks away from your life. Fact. Your mind says you will never be enough for anyone. Interpretation. See the difference? The event is small. The story can become enormous. And sometimes your mind turns a single moment into an entire identity. One failure becomes, I am a failure. One rejection becomes, nobody will ever choose me. One insult becomes, maybe they are right about me. This is how emotional suffering grows. Not from the event alone, but from the meaning you keep feeding it. So next time something triggers you, do something unusual. Do not immediately ask, "Why did they do this to me?" Ask, "What do I actually know for certain?" You may discover that half of your anger was built on assumptions. And when you stop treating every thought as truth, you become much harder to manipulate. Because people can control what they say. They can control what they do. But they cannot control the meaning you choose to give their actions. And once you master that, you discover another Stoic weapon. A weapon so simple that most people completely ignore it. The pause before you respond. The pause, the Stoic weapon. The most powerful thing you can do when someone provokes you is nothing. Not because you are weak. Because you are thinking. Most people react instantly. An insult comes. Anger follows. A message feels disrespectful. And they immediately reply. But the Stoics understood something different. Between what happens and what you do next, there is a tiny moment. That moment is your power. Epictetus taught that we should not become slaves to our first impressions. Your first thought may be, answer them. Defend yourself. Make them regret it. But you do not have to obey it. Pause. Take a breath. Let the emotion rise. Without letting it choose your words. Then ask. Will my response make my life better? If the answer is no, silence may be stronger. This is not about letting people walk over you. It is about refusing to give your emotions the steering wheel. A calm response can protect you from hours of regret. One angry message can destroy trust. One impulsive decision can create a problem that lasts for years. But one pause can change everything. The person who controls the pause controls the response. And the person who controls the response becomes much harder to control. Remember this. You do not have to respond just because someone provoked you. Sometimes the strongest answer is the answer you choose not to give. The approval trap. Stop living for their opinions. One of the easiest ways to control a person is to make them desperate for approval. When people praise you, you feel powerful. When they criticize you, you feel small. When they accept you, you feel worthy. When they reject you, you start questioning yourself. But ask yourself, who gave them the authority to decide your value? The Stoics understood that reputation is something you cannot fully control. You can act with honesty. You can work hard. You can treat people well. But you cannot control what people say about you. Someone may misunderstand you. Someone may dislike you. Someone may talk about you behind your back. And you may never be able to change their mind. So why build your peace on something you cannot control? Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that other people's opinions are temporary. Today they praise you. Tomorrow they forget you. Today they criticize you. Tomorrow they move on to something else. Yet you can spend years trying to impress people who barely think about you. That is the trap. You keep performing, explaining, proving, and defending. Not because you need to. Because you want everyone to approve of you. But real confidence begins when you can say, I know who I am. I do not need everyone to agree. This does not mean ignoring all criticism. Wise people listen. They learn. They correct themselves when necessary. But they do not surrender their identity to every opinion. Your goal is not to be liked by everyone. Your goal is to become someone you respect. Even when nobody is watching. Because when you stop chasing approval, you become free to live according to your principles. And that freedom leads to something even harder. Staying calm when someone deliberately tries to disrespect you. The art of being insulted without losing yourself. Imagine someone insults you in front of everyone. Your first instinct is to fight back. You want to prove them wrong. You want the last word. But what if you did something unexpected? You stayed calm. The Stoics understood that an insult only becomes powerful when you accept its judgment. Someone can call you weak. That is their opinion. It is not automatically your reality. Ask yourself. Is there truth in what they said? If there is, learn from it. If there is not, why carry it? This is the difference between wisdom and ego. Your ego wants revenge. Wisdom wants clarity. Your ego says, make them regret it. Wisdom asks, is this worth disturbing my peace? Think about how much energy people waste trying to win arguments that nobody will remember a week later. They explain. They shout. They prove. They attack. And after the conversation ends, they carry the anger home with them. The Stoic refuses that burden. He does not need to win every conversation. He needs to remain in control of himself. Remember, an insult is information about the speaker before it becomes information about you. Sometimes it reveals their anger. Sometimes their insecurity. Sometimes nothing more than their desire to provoke you. You do not have to pick up every stone someone throws at you. Let some words fall to the ground. Your peace is more valuable than the last word. And once you learn this, you become dangerous to anyone who depends on provoking you. Because they can attack your ego. But they can no longer control your behavior. And then comes an even stronger form of Stoic power. Knowing when silence says more than 1,000 words. Silence, when not responding, becomes power. Not every battle deserves your voice. Sometimes people provoke you because they want a reaction. They want you angry. They want you explaining yourself. They want proof that they can disturb your peace. And the moment you give them that reaction, they have already won. The Stoics understood the power of silence. Silence is not always surrender. Sometimes it is discipline. When someone misunderstands you, you do not always need to explain. When someone insults you, you do not always need to answer. When someone wants an argument, you do not have to enter it. Ask yourself, am I responding because it is necessary? Or because my ego wants the last word? That question can save you from countless pointless battles. But remember something important. Stoic silence does not mean becoming passive. If something truly matters, speak. If someone crosses a serious boundary, act. If a problem needs to be solved, communicate. The Stoic is not silent because he is afraid. He is silent when words would only feed the chaos. There is a strange power in refusing to explain yourself to someone committed to misunderstanding you. You stop chasing. You stop proving. You stop performing. And suddenly, their opinion loses its grip on you. Your silence tells them something powerful. You no longer control my attention. And attention is one of the most valuable things you possess. Where your attention goes, your energy follows. So protect it. Not every person deserves an answer. Not every accusation deserves a defense. Not every argument deserves your presence. Sometimes walking away is not losing. Sometimes it is the moment you finally choose yourself. Rejection, betrayal, and loss, stay standing. Some lessons do not arrive as advice. They arrive as rejection. Someone leaves. Someone betrays your trust. An opportunity disappears. And suddenly, the future you imagined no longer exists. This is where emotional strength is truly tested. The Stoic does not pretend that loss does not hurt. He accepts the pain. But refuses to let pain define him. Ask yourself, what did I lose? Then ask the harder question. What remains? You may lose a person. But you still have your character. You may lose an opportunity. But you still have your ability to act. You may be rejected. But rejection does not become your identity. This is the Stoic practice of separating the event from the self. Something happened to you. That does not mean it has become who you are. Marcus Aurelius understood that life could change without warning. So he focused on what remained within his control. His judgment. His actions. And his character. That mindset changes how you experience loss. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin asking, "What can this moment teach me?" Maybe rejection reveals that you were chasing the wrong door. Maybe betrayal teaches you to choose people more carefully. Maybe loss forces you to discover strength you never knew you had. Pain does not automatically make you stronger. But what you choose to do with pain can. You can let it make you bitter. Or let it make you wiser. You can spend your life asking why someone left. Or begin building a life so meaningful that their absence no longer defines it. The past cannot be changed. But your next decision is still yours. And sometimes, the greatest comeback begins the moment you stop asking for the old life back. Build an unshakable mind. A calm mind is not something you are born with. It is something you train. Just like the body becomes stronger through resistance. The mind becomes stronger through difficulty. So stop waiting for life to become easier. Use difficult moments as training. When someone annoys you, practice patience. When someone criticizes you, practice self-control. When plans fail, practice acceptance. When you feel the urge to react, practice the pause. This is how emotional strength is built. But there is another Stoic practice that most people ignore. Prepare your mind before the problem arrives. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that difficult people, delays, disappointment, and unexpected problems were part of life. Why? Because what surprises you controls you more easily. If you expect every person to be kind, one rude person can destroy your mood. If you expect everything to go according to plan, one failure can break your focus. But when you accept that difficulty is part of life, you stop treating every obstacle like an emergency. Each morning, ask yourself, what might challenge my patience today? Maybe someone will disrespect you. Maybe something will go wrong. Maybe someone will disappoint you. Do not fear it. Prepare for it. Then when it happens, you will recognize it as training. Your goal is not to create a perfect life. Your goal is to build a mind that remains steady inside an imperfect one. And every time you control a reaction, you strengthen that mind. Every time you choose discipline over impulse, you become harder to shake. Eventually, calm stops being something you search for. It becomes something you carry. And that brings us to the final question. What would your life look like if almost nothing could control your inner state? Become unbreakable, the final Stoic transformation. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that you no longer need the world to behave a certain way before you can be at peace. People may criticize you. You remain focused. Someone may leave. You keep moving. Someone may misunderstand you. You do not destroy yourself trying to explain. Life may become difficult. But your mind does not collapse with it. This is the real meaning of becoming unbreakable. Not becoming emotionless. Not becoming cold. Not pretending that nothing hurts. It means becoming strong enough to feel everything, without allowing everything to control you. The Stoics never promised a life without pain. They offered something far more valuable. A mind that can remain free inside an unpredictable world. You cannot control who respects you. You cannot control who stays. You cannot control what people say. You cannot control every loss. But you can control your character. your choices, your discipline, your response. And every day gives you another opportunity to practice. The next time someone provokes you, pause. The next time rejection hurts, look for the lesson. The next time someone misunderstands you, remember that their opinion is not your identity. The next time life refuses to follow your plan, adapt. Do not waste your life trying to control the uncontrollable. Build yourself instead. Because eventually, something changes. You stop asking, how do I make people treat me differently? And you start asking, how can I remain powerful regardless of how they behave? That is freedom. That is emotional mastery. And that is the fortress you build inside your mind. So remember this. You do not need to control the world to control your life. Master your response. Protect your attention. Choose your character. And never give another person the power to decide who you become. Because the moment you stop reacting is the moment you begin taking your power back.